The next speaker will be Rinie van Est. Rinie is a long-term friend and a practitioner of TA in the Rathenau Institute. I think your formal title is a trend catcher, isn't it right? Yeah. I've always liked to see you like hunting butterflies or something. You're all out there hunting trends. But anyway, Rinie will tell about one of the works that we did in Pasita, which was about drawing up lessons about institutionalization of TA.
Thank you, Lars. So as a trend catcher, let me start with some trends. I will give you two mega trends. First mega trend, biology is becoming technology. We're becoming increasingly able to map with all our biomedical and digital technologies, to map the human body, to map all kinds of living organisms, but we also get all kinds of technologies to intervene in these living systems. That's the first trend. Second trend, technology is becoming biology. Michel Antoine gave a perfect example because it's all about digitization. Yeah? And he talked about the digitization of mobility. And actually he clarified that the mobile industry, the car manufacturers, which have a long time tradition, maybe of more of a century in France, actually they're on a turning point because the world is changing rapidly. And they're already, I mean, he gave an example of a beautiful process in which parliamentarians actually started to realize what is happening in the world. There's big competition from China, from electric cars. There's big competition coming up from America. And I would say this is not about the future. It's actually trying to understand what is going on at the moment. So this digitization of the car, of the industry, the industrial internet, and of our own lives, actually that's what's going on. That's why the Rathenau Institute introduced the term in internet technology, actually to clarify that for the last 3 decades we talked about ethical issues around biotechnology. But the ethical issues are springing up all kinds of ways, also on information technology. Information technology, because of the digitization of life, because digitization of our body, of our behavior, of our social lives, it's a real revolution which is taking place. And if you agree with this understanding that we're really into revolutionary times, then the question becomes, what's the democratic challenge? And I really loved the speech of René Langer yesterday. He said, well, if there's a technological revolution going on and you believe in democracy, what's the challenge? I mean, the challenge is to inform members of parliament, because, I mean, they are the keeper of democracy, you could say. But it's not only about the parliament, it's about informing the people, because if there's not a debate about this technological revolution that's going on, what are we doing? We're having a car with no steering wheel, and we're having a car that's speeding up without brakes. So we have to address not only members of parliament, you have to talk with the people, inform the people. Even the social sciences or the TA community has to understand itself what is happening. And if we deal with, you know, all kinds of small technologies coming up, that's not doing the job. We have to look in a trans-technological way of what is happening. So we have to inform scientists and technology makers themselves. We have to engage with policymakers. And I think if there's one thing what Pasita has learned us is that if we looked at technology assessment within APTA, actually we thought about technology assessment for the parliament. And we had 3 models. The first model was, okay, there's a TA institute within the parliament, and it's an emotional debate. And then you have TA nearby the parliament. And then there's a third model, and that's the independent. Yes. But there's no institute which is independent. Within Pasita we saw that there's a multitude of ways to think about technology. okay, there's technology for the parliament, but we also have to include, if we want to have to address that democratic challenge, we have to address thinking about technology and its social aspect for policymakers, the government. We have to address, indeed, the public. We have to address science and technology. How do we do that? I think we have to open up. Maybe EPTA has to move up, or we need to have a new network, but we have to find a way to think about, you know, the social aspect, the social meaning of technology in a broad way, in an inclusive way. And I don't know how to do that. And we shouldn't only look at the national level, we should look at the European level, and even at the global level, because there's a lot of challenges ahead of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Rinie.